Let us look at a simple example of CFG. I will write down a simple grammar. Say S produces A, S, B, or S produces AB. These are the only two productions which are present in the grammar. Obviously, there is only one variable which is S, and therefore S will be the starting variable. We can see that the first production S produces A, S, B is a recursive production. The same production can be applied any number of times, or what we can say that the variable on the left hand side or the head of the production is also present in the body of the production. We will call such productions as recursive productions. They bring in the power of recursion in the grammar, and that's why we will call it a recursive grammar. We will give it a name, our own terminology. We can call it recursive productions, not recursive grammar. And see, the simplest definition of recursion is whenever something is defined in terms of itself, then that is called as recursion. For example, n factorial is equal to n multiplied by n minus 1 factorial. You define factorial in terms of factorial. The definition is called as recursive definition. Here you define the variable S productions in terms of the variable S. That is why we will call this production as a recursive production. Now, if you observe, you can apply this production any number of times. Now, each time you apply this production, the first production, this S will be replaced by A, S, B. What does that mean? There will be an A added to the left hand side of S, and there will be an B added to the right hand side of S. And whenever you want to stop applying the productions, whenever you don't want recursion to go ahead, whenever you want the recursion to stop, in that case you will apply the second production, that is S produces AB. Now let us see some sample strings generated by this grammar. It is not very difficult to see that this grammar will generate a block of A followed by a block of B, and number of A's will be same as the number of B's. Let us try some derivations. One of the derivation possible is S can be replaced by A, S, B. You again apply production 1. Okay, so here we are applying production 1. We can number the productions. Let's call this as production 1. Let's call this as production 2. So we are applying production 1. Again apply production 1. This S will be replaced by A, S, B, previous A and B as before. Again production 1. Then this can be, if we apply production 1 again, it will be A, S, B, B, B. Again production 1. And if you apply production 2 now, then this S will be replaced by AB, and therefore we will get A, B, 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 B. And what does that mean? We get A to the power 4 and B4. A4, B4 is the string generated by this particular derivation. And you can see that every time we recurse this S, the number of A and B on both the sides will increase by 1. And whenever we apply the second production S produces AB, the recursion will stop. And that is why what we can say that the language of this particular grammar, okay, we will try to define this grammar. G is equal to VTSP, G equal to V, T, S, P. Okay, V will be a single variable set, that is the only variable present there is S. Then T will be consisting of two terminal symbols, that is A, comma, B. Then start symbol will be S, and the productions, set of productions will be given by these two productions. Okay, so P is nothing but the set of productions. And finally we can say that the language generated by this grammar will be equal to set of all W such that W belongs to A to the power N, B to the power N. And let us see what is the minimum possible string that can be generated with the help of this grammar. So the smallest possible string that can be generated will be right the first time you apply the second production. So instead of starting with S produces A, S, B, you can start with S produces AB. And when you start with S produces AB, you will terminate, and in the first step of the derivation itself, you will directly get a word. And that is why the minimum value of N will be equal to 1. And therefore we can say that N is greater than or equal to 1. So one or more number of A's followed by equal number of B's is the language generated by this particular grammar. Okay, so that is the first example. Now let's see the format of this particular grammar. Now if you observe this grammar, there are two productions. first production satisfies the condition of regular grammar, because this production is of the format, first production is of the format, I will write down the format here, it is S produces, this AB belongs to, okay, let me write down the membership of right hand side. Here we can say that AB belongs to T star, but here we cannot say that ASB belongs to T star, because S is a variable, and that's why we can say that this ASB belongs to V union T star, and that's why what we can say that as far as the left hand sides are concerned, both the left hand sides are single variable, that is why the left hand sides will satisfy the condition of regular grammar as well as CFG. However, the right hand side of the second grammar does satisfy condition of both the grammars. It fits in CFG as well as regular grammar. However, the right hand side of this first production ASB does not satisfy the condition of either RLG or LLG. That's why the first production does not fit into regular grammar, and that's why this category of grammars cannot be called as a regular grammar, and therefore the given grammar can be most appropriately termed as a context free grammar. And see, I would like to relate this with the power of CFG. These grammar productions go from the center. So whatever expansions are being done, those expansions will be at the center. Every time you apply the first S production, one A will be generated to the left hand side and one B will be generated to the right hand side. The grammar, the sentential form will grow from the center to the both the sides. Now growing from the center is not possible in regular grammar, because we have seen the right linear grammar will always grow from the right hand side, and the LLG will always grow from the left hand side. However, if you want to generate a string like this, A n B n equal number of A's and B's, then you need to expand from the center, you need to maintain the symmetry, and that is why such a language cannot be generated with the help of regular grammars. Okay, I hope you are getting the point that I am trying to make. Regular grammars cannot grow, cannot expand from the center, from the middle. Such a language needs expansion from center, expansion from middle, and that's why such strings cannot be generated with the help of regular grammars, and that's why we say that CFGs are more powerful as compared to the regular grammar. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Now let's try to enhance this same grammar into more languages. For example, we can try grammar for language. Say L equal to, or I will simply write down the format here, A to the power n, B to the power m, such that n is greater than m and n comma m both are greater than or equal to 1. So what does that mean? We need a block of A followed by a block of B. Minimum number of A should be equal to 1, minimum number of B should be equal to 1, and the number of A should be more than the number of B's. Now what can be the logic for generating such a grammar? See, whenever you have, let's compare, say A, B, B, A, B, B, A, B, B, or A5, B2. Now first string A, B, B, here n will be equal to 1, m will be equal to 2, and it is reverse, n is less than m, we want n greater than m, and or it can be written as A1 B square, we want more number of A's, that's why this particular string doesn't belong to the language. The equal number of A and B again will not satisfy the criteria of the language, we want more number of A as compared to B, and third string has got one additional A as compared to B, it can be written as A cube B square, and the last string A to the power 5 B square again satisfy the condition of the language. Okay, we have more number of A's as compared to B. Now if we want to write down a grammar for this language, what could be the format here, or what could be the logic? See, logic will be, whenever we want more number of A's as compared to B, it means First of all, we will generate equal number of A and equal number of B, and once we get the desired B, then we will introduce a variable so that additional number of A's can be generated. And what does that mean? First of all, you have this grammar production S produces A, S, B, so that whenever you start from S, equal number of A and B will be produces, and any number of times you apply production, the result will be S in the middle, equal number of A and B on both the sides. Okay, and whenever you have got the required number of B's, then the next thing in front of us, let's talk about this example, A cube B square. If you apply this production twice, we are going to get, I will write down a derivation here, S produces A, S, B. Apply this production once more, you will get S produces A, S, B, B. Now, we have got the desired number of B's because the number of B here is equal to 2. And what is the part left now is to generate the additional number of A. And this provision to generate additional number of A's can be made with the help of this symbol, that is S produces A, and then we can write down A produces A or epsilon. Okay, so what will happen, like whenever you apply the first production A S B, then A square S B square. Now I want to generate additional A, so I will switch from S to A, and therefore the next production that we will apply here will be S produces A. So here it will become A, this S will be replaced by A and capital A, okay, then B and then B. Now we have got the desired number of A's, we wanted the number of A to be equal to 3, and that's why we don't want additional A's, and therefore we can replace this capital A variable by epsilon, so that we get A, B and B. Now what does that mean? Let's call this as production 1, production 2, production 3, okay. We can call it as production 3, and A produces epsilon, we can call it as production 4. So here we applied production 1, again production 1, then S was replaced by A, we applied production 2, and then immediately we replaced the A with epsilon, we applied production 4. Production 3 is not needed in this particular case. However, if you want to generate A5 B square, then production 3 will also be needed. So this is the derivation for A cube B square. Let's see what can be the derivation of A5 B square, and why did I write down this production 3. Let's see. We will try to generate A5 B square. So first of all, we will generate A square B square, and then we will expand the A block. So it can be written as S produces A, S, B, then again this S can be replaced by A, S, B, B. We have got the desired number of B's. Now we need to start expanding the block of A, therefore it will be A, this S will be replaced by A capital A, then B, then B. Now we need to generate 2 more A's, that's why we will apply the production A, this A will be replaced by small a capital A, B, B, and again this A will be replaced by small a capital A, so that we get the desired number of A's, B and B, and finally this A will be replaced by epsilon, so that we get A followed by B and B. And now you can see that these 2 A's were not these 2 A's. These 2 A's were generated with the help of third production. So we can say that ASB was production 1, then again we applied ASB, again we applied production 1, then we replaced S with AA, we applied production 2, then we replaced this A by AA, we applied production 3, again we replaced this A with AA, we applied the production 4, and finally, again we applied production 3, and finally we replaced this A by epsilon, so we applied production 4. So likewise, the logic will be initially you generate equal number of A and B, and then you generate additional number of A so that the number of A will be more than the number of B. Similar logic can be applied for the language a to the power n, b to the power n, n comma m greater than equal to 1 and n less than m. Here we want more number of b's as compared to a. So we want additional b's as compared to a. So first of all we will generate equal number of a and b, and then we will write down a variable to expand the block of b. So that second grammar can also be written on the similar lines. Okay, and again you can see that this grammar has the capability of growing from the middle, which cannot be done by either RLG or LLG, and that is why whatever productions we are adding, okay, let's see which family of grammars will this grammar belong to. Is it a CFG or a regular grammar? Now if you compare the productions one by one, A produces epsilon belongs to regular grammar. Okay, A produces AA also belongs to regular grammar. Then S produces AA also belongs to regular grammar. However, the first production S produces ASB does not belong to the category of regular grammar, because in regular grammar if you have a variable you cannot have a terminal after the variable. But as far as these productions are concerned, all these productions belong to the category of regular grammar, and to be more precise, S produces AA is RLG or LLG. Now because the variable is present on the right hand side, this production belongs to the category of RLG. This production also belongs to the category of RLG. This production number 4 belongs to the category of RLG as well as LLG. However, first production doesn't belong to RLG, first production doesn't belong to LLG, first production fits into the category of CFG, because a variable is surrounded by terminals on both the sides, which is not allowed in case of regular grammar. Okay, in the next session we will see more examples on CFG. Thanks.